Hey everyone, it's Camfrey15 back again with another video. Quick little update. It's been a while, and especially with the Angels reviews and stuff like that. It's been a while because I'm getting myself adjusted back at home because I just got back from school or college, and all I can say is the Angels reviews will probably start again sometime later this weekend after their series. I know I've been late on that. If you guys have been watching that and want to see my thoughts on what's been going on with them, yeah, I'm alrighty with them. I didn't know they magically jumped up to second place. They're now in third place, but I digress. When I get back to talking Angels again, I'll talk about the Angels again. I've been taking a little bit of an absence of a break because I'm just trying to get myself adjusted back to being at home and stuff like that because I'm out of school finally. I'm here for the summer. So, yeah. Anyways, I want to introduce a guest who will appear sometimes during some reviews of mine of interesting things like Dragon Ball, which is a show we both like. Something we're about to review right now, My Hero Academia. And then other TV shows we watch or movies we watch, whether I'm in town or not. So, yeah. So, I definitely want to do Flash reviews, starting up when season 6 comes on. He may be on there sometimes, he may not. So, anyways, Denzel is a good friend of mine. We've known each other since junior high, and we've been close friends since then. So, and as you can tell by this video, we're reviewing My Hero Academia, and we're big My Hero Academia fans. And I recently got into the show probably 2-3 months ago, and it was only because I played this game called Jump Force, and I was like, who's this Deku character and stuff like that. And I wanted to look more into his respective anime of My Hero Academia. So I started watching the first season, and then after the first episode, I'm like, okay. And then at more episodes I watched, I got into it, and I'm like, wow, this is a really, really good show and a really good anime, and I can't wait. So I'm already caught up to where we're at now. So later October is basically the My Hero Academia Season 4. Now the manga's already come out for Season 4 content and stuff like that, and I try my hardest to not look at the manga, because right now I'm kind of like an anime only type of person, but I can't wait. So really, this is a countdown to My Hero Academia Season 4. Whenever Denzel's able to show up, we'll just do a review of the overview of his 3 seasons, and we'll do a movie review of the My Hero Academia movie, and we'll do it fit in between the timeline. So we're going to do it timeline accurate, so expect a Season 1 review, which is this video, then Season 2 the next time, then not Season 3. Before Season 3 will be the My Hero Academia movie and what we thought. But I think what I'll do is me and Denzel will talk about the My Hero Academia movie, and then talk about Season 3 as a whole, and then we'll probably give our previews and predictions to Season 4 and what do we expect, because even though I haven't seen the full thing, I've seen a little bit of the manga. So if you guys are big My Hero Academia fans and you put a comment in the comment section, please, when it refers to Season 4, please don't spoil anything, because I really want to understand what's going on. And as me starting to see My Hero Academia as a new fan in a way, I want to go into it blind, because in the past, I always would like to check on spoilers and everything, and at some points, I'm really cool. I don't mind getting spoilers, but when it's something I really anticipate, like say Avengers Endgame, I didn't want no spoilers at all, and I wanted to see what was going on, and I wanted to see it without being spoiled, and you guys know, you want that feeling of shock to hit you, oh my goodness, this is actually happening. And Yeah. Um, so I can't wait. I'll mostly be doing anime reviews as a whole because I'm a big fan. I'm not gonna do all certain animes. The only two animes I'm really probably gonna do. The two others from My Hero Academia are probably Pokemon whenever that a new season of that shows up, and I'll also be doing season reviews of that with Denzel if he gets a chance, if we get a chance to see it. Because I know you have to probably catch up and stuff like that.
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of a little behind on that. So.
Okay, so we might have to do watching for that, and that's going to be pretty long. But when we finish a season, we'll get it out and stuff like that. See, this is why I wish sometimes you could sleep over.
Yeah. Yeah, we can make plans.
Yeah, but anyways, let's talk about My Hero Academia. So My Hero Academia, it started, think, well, it started longer before. The manga was created in I think 2012 or something like that. I didn't look into that, but I know the anime started around 2014/2015. So, so like I said, I was brand new into it when I first saw it, and I was like, okay, they already had 3 seasons of this out, yada yada. Well, really, they're showing season 3 on Toonami for the English dub, but it's already on Funimation.com, all the episodes in English dub, or you can just blow your cash and buy the DVDs. That's not my problem, but My Hero Academia, in a short summary, starts off with a boy named Izuku Midoriya, who aspires to be a hero, and it is later revealed in the story that he doesn't have a quirk, which a quirk is, in other terms of saying, is a power. And he, when he's young, really, I'm just probably going to do an overview of the first episode, really, and we'll just talk about overviews of the entire season 1. But really, season 1 is Deku learning the powers he's... Well, should I just review the first... Well, the first episode... We should talk more about the first episode, right?
Yeah, we should.
Okay, so basically, start off with the first episode. It starts off with a narration of Deku basically saying, like, you know, how, like, 80% of the world has these powers, and powers, like I said earlier, are called quirks in this anime, or this world, and 80% of the world has it, and the rest of the percent don't have quirks. And basically, it cuts back to past scenes of really Izuku wanting to be a hero, and during the episode when he's like basically coming out of junior high, it's basically explained through people like bullies that he's a quirkless boy, and he has nothing to do, and he's just a worthless person.
Yeah, yeah, and it's that like moment alone, like how you told me before. Izuku Midoriya is like one of the most relatable main characters like out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say out of all the animes I've watched, which is really Dragon Ball, Pokemon, and this, the main protagonist, which is Izuku, when I finally got done watching the entire My Hero Academia, and really after season 1, and you can really, the reason why he's really my favorite character is you can relate to him because, in essence, you feel bad for what he's going through because, technically, I need to hold myself from crying because this it hits me in the feel so much because there's always in that time in a person's life where you were bullied as a child, or you may even be bullied in junior high or high school where someone tells you can't do this, but later in the episode, really, his idol, which is the character All Might, shows up and saves him from a villain that almost literally kills him in the first episode. He meets his idol face to face, and at the end of the first episode, he asks him, even though I do not have powers, can I still be a hero like you? And that's the one thing I like about Izuku Midoriya in the anime, and how I personally think he's the most relatable, because you can relate to this guy, because he's going through life struggles of people talking him down, bullies calling him worthless and a quirkless fool, that he can't accomplish things when he puts his mind to it. And in one of the episodes, his bully, which is
Bakugo.
yeah, Bakugo. He in the first episode, he literally tells him like to kill himself, which, in a real world sense, that's what most kids do most people do when they get bullied. They end up killing themselves because they feel like no one cares about them, and they just can't take the bullying too much.
It was at that moment, like I can pretty much see myself as Izuku Midoriya back when I was really little. Yeah, back when I was at elementary school, I always get bullied just for being all weak, and all timid and somewhat of a crybaby, as you can see.
Yeah.
So yeah, as he says, he's one of the most relatable.
And when you go into the episode, especially, I thought one of the more emotional scenes in the first episode was the fact when he was later told that he won't have powers, which, when we get to previews and predictions, I have a speculation, and I'm not going to get to it now, but when we get to a season 4 previews prediction, I'll give my speculation about that. And if you've seen it, you might know what I'm thinking about. But when he's told that he can't, that he's quirkless, I thought one of the really emotional scenes of the episode that can tug probably a few hearts is when he's in this room in the dark, watching his laptop, his idol All Might saving people, and he turns around and he's in tears telling his mom, like, he's like, you see, Mom? He's always smiling despite any bad things happening. And he basically is like, you think I can be a hero too? And it was one of the emotional scenes, and it's even, thinking about it, it makes me tear up a bit, because it's like, this kid really wanted to do something, and he was told he can't do something. And his mom later says, like, I'm sorry, I wish things could have been different. But at the end of the episode, well, really, and this is going to the second episode, where at the beginning, his idol tells him, like, I'm sorry, kid, there's no way you can be a hero if you're just quirkless and you're just nothing. You might as well go join the police force or find some other need to help people out. And later, the villain that escapes, that really almost killed Izuku, escapes, and he gets a hold of Bakugo. And the one thing which I thought was really, really cool is that Deku is his bully name that Bakugo gave him. In other words, Deku to Bakugo means worthless and basically just utter piece of trash, really. And Bakugo later gets captured and is almost like literally gets his body almost taken over by this villain that almost did the same thing to Deku, really, in a sense. And even though Bakugo was a bully, it's later also explained later in future episodes of this season, and even later on in the rest of the series, is that in some cases, in an aspect, Bakugo and Izuku were somewhat friends, or Bakugo at a point in time didn't have a hatred towards Izuku where he just straight up bullied him all the time. And the relationship later grows on as the season progresses, but I can't really talk about the full thing until we get to season 3.
Mm-hmm.
But in that scene, in the second episode, despite him being bullied by Bakugo so many times, probably over years of his life, he goes in knowing he could possibly lose his life, and he goes in to try to save him. And when he gets up to the monster, Bakugo's like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, you crazy? I'm not going to let you die. And just because I don't have powers, I'm gonna try my best to save you. And it's another aspect to where you can relate to Deku in the real world. Like, you may be weaker than somebody. If you see somebody getting bullied at school who might be your friend or just some random person that you feel like not doing right. But if you feel like you can step in and do something about it, even though you may be weaker, you may be smaller, or any of the prerequisites to somebody who's probably better than you, that you might go in and actually be like, I might get myself beat up or I might get myself killed. But if I know that I can help somebody and maybe save their life, that means the more. Anything you want to say about that?
Just up to that point, yeah, I can understand like why Deku does what he does and why Bakugo feels that way towards him. Like, well, I'm not gonna say what's how he feels later on in the series, but later on, we all will eventually understand why Bakugo always feels hatred or anger towards Deku.
Really, I would say it's a little bit explained in this season. Really, like the episodes. There's episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right?
Yeah.
No, it was really episodes 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and stuff like that. But yeah, you want to continue with what you were saying?
Oh no, I don't really have much to say other than that's pretty much when I like start like falling in love with the series.
Yeah, and then after the scene, what is it? All Might later is there, and if we go back, it's later revealed that All Might suffered an injury fighting a villain a long time ago, where his entire ribcage area is all messed up, and because of it, he can't stay in his full-powered form. And when he's not in his full-powered form, he turns down to a shriveled, basically skinny dude who looks like a regular guy in the street, and nobody recognizes him at all.
But when he first revealed himself like that to Deku, and Deku's face, oh my god.
Oh yeah, that was funny. That was funny. That was hilarious.
Deku was like, ah!
Yeah, and basically, All Might is the #1 hero for how long he was. We don't know in general how old or how long he's been the #1 hero. We know he's been but up to this point, we know he's been the #1 hero to this point. And what is it? And it's later revealed he can only maintain his form for about 3 hours a day, because that was was it longer in season 1?
He said it was only 3 hours a day.
Okay, because at the start of and it's later, because of his injury, throughout the episodes and him using it, you later see that he'll use it less and less as the seasons progress. So really, it's he basically like, I can only keep this up for 3 hours a day, and yada yada yada. And then so basically he was already done using his form, and he couldn't use it anymore. And when he's watching basically Bakugo getting basically taken control of by this monster and this freak, and all the other heroes that showed up can't do anything, and he sees what Deku's doing, he later gets inspired, which I love the relationship between Deku and Izuku and All Might in a way, because in some cases they both motivate each other to do things. And the stunt Izuku pulled motivated All Might to go be like, no, I need to go beyond my limits and help this kid. And he did it. He helped Bakugo and he saved him, and he tended to his aid. And then later in the episode, Izuku and Bakugo run into each other later in the episode, and he's like, just because you saved me doesn't mean I owe you anything. He's like, I still hate you. And I was like, man, and me watching him, like, he just saved your life, dude. Really. And what is it?
Prideful rivals, man. Prideful rivals.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. In some cases, I see them as the relationship of Goku and Vegeta. Just
Yeah.
it has its.
Yeah.
It somewhat compares to the Goku Vegeta friendship relationship thing, rivalry in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's later not somewhat of a rivalry till like season 3, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but later, but then at the end of episode 2, All Might appears out of nowhere and he's like, listen, I've rethought about what you said about being a hero, and he's like, I saw you running into danger, and he said like, the one thing about all heroes' journeys that start is they run towards danger, no matter basically how dangerous it is. It just starts off with a run, and All Might's basically telling Deku or Izuku like, I was inspired by you because you remind me a little bit of me. So he basically says like, listen, I can give you a power, I can give you a quirk, and that quirk is all for one. Or no.
One for all.
One for all. Dang it, that's a spoiler if you haven't seen it. But
Oh my god.
but I guarantee all you guys probably seen it.
If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Watch
okay?
it.
Watch it before you watch the rest of this video.
Yeah, and then come back.
Heck, watch it before you watch this video at all.
Yeah, but basically, All Might explains his power is like, one for all is a generational quirk that is passed down from generation to generation, where people improve it and make it a better quirk to use. And All Might was like, I can give you this quirk. And the funny thing is, I have yet to watch the sub. I'll watch the sub version later.
Mm-hmm.
But the dub, I love the part. I love all the things, and I just gotta say, I love the dub too. I think the dub does a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm.
All the voice actors are really great. Whether when it goes to Justin Briner playing as Izuku Midori or Chris Sabat playing as All Might, and all the other characters later in the show. What is it? I like the fact that that basically All Might was telling him like, yeah, you may be quirkless, but now I can give you the power you always wanted. You have the chance to be what you ever always dreamed of. I saw that as a really powerful scene because he literally got on his knees and was crying. I was like, that is something in real life you could cry about. And it's like, the way he was reacting is like if you had accomplished your goals and your dreams and you've been given that call, like, you finally did it. You passed this test that will get you to where you need to go to. You got the job of your dreams. And all you can do is just cry. And it was just a powerful scene because you feel Ezekiel crying. And it's like he's getting what he wants. He's getting what he really wants. And I love that scene to death because it was the start of this really proverbial of his story, and at the end of the episode 2, and throughout the entire show, it sounds like Izuku is talking to either somebody in the future, or which is he's telling his story to somebody else, or really he's talking to the audience, which is us, what went on in his life. And because the way he talks is like, yeah, this thing happened that day, and I remember this day, and it's like, or the whole yada yada happened this day, and it's like, and it made me think, I'm like, so is he already an established hero in the future, and either he's about to, well, I'll get that down later, and because this is later really explained really later in seasons 2 and season 3 of the way he talks to the audience. But at the end of episode 2, he basically says like, this is how my story started, how I became the world's greatest hero. So eventually Izuku becomes the world's greatest hero at some point in time. We just have to take this journey along with him. Mm-hmm. And it's like, say, well, I wouldn't say relate to Ash because he's doing his own thing, but in a way of Goku of how far he's come from being a kid to literally, honestly, the strongest person on the earth today.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that scene?
Well, yeah, that's what I was most excited for, like Izuku's rise to power. Yeah, going to the school he always wanted to go to, and of course, making new friends and stuff.
Yeah. And if you don't know, but which you all should know, that he later goes to apply for UA and he has to take a test. So they're showing a montage of him training with All Might to better himself, to get himself more buffed up in power, stuff like that. And you sound like you want to talk.
Yeah. Yeah, there was that moment, right? Like he wanted to like train himself a little more than All Might told him to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was so desperate, like he wanted to go beyond people's imaginations.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the one thing, and really it's just the main protagonist thing, where the main protagonist, mostly almost any genre of anime, is they always want to push themselves to their limits and even go beyond their limits. Like Goku. Heck, even in some cases, Ash Ketchum. He may be a stupid kid who's not doing anything, and all he wants to do is, and he makes dumb, rash decisions, but the one thing about him when it comes to Pokemon is he always wants to get there to be better. And he always finding new ways to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it results in him not really, paying attention to other people's feelings, but he really found that out later in the show.
And I hope, and I pray to God that moment he's still not that dense. I hope he understands that.
Yeah, especially if he does come back.
Yeah.
But, we're not talking about Pokemon here, guys. We're not talking about Pokemon. Not Hero Academia. But, yeah, and what is it? The funny part is, in order for Deku to get the power, he had to eat All Might's hair to get the power. And it was funny because when I was first watching, I'm like, so in order to get the power, I feel like he's gonna have to eat his hair. And then a few minutes later, it's like, eat this. And I was like, oh, I would not eat somebody's hair. You know? If you're gonna do that, if I would have to eat somebody's hair for power, you'd have to give me a cup of water first, or a drink of juice or something.
Well, then again, if it's just a strand of hair, would it be that big of a deal? If it's just one small strand of hair? I mean, if you just gulp it down right away?
Yeah, it probably, I don't know, the repercussions of what you do if you swallow someone's hair, but okay. But anyways, it cuts to him going to UA so to take the test to get into the school, because like any academy or any university or college, and in a way it's more UA is more portrayed like, I would say, a college university. Now later in the series it feels more like a college university, especially with what will be later put there at the school. But in some cases it feels like a high school. In other cases, it feels like a college or university in a way. But like any universities or any 4 years, you have to take like either, well, really not an entrance exam. Some universities really recommend you do an essay write-up, and that's just today. So basically, before he takes the test, he runs to a girl, which is one of the main characters, named Ochako Uraraka, which is basically, when you first meet him, you can tell that she's the initial love interest of the series, and
whether it's going to be canon, is that still a mystery?
Well, we don't want to spoil them too hard, but if you know the story of their cute little relationship, yeah. But it starts off them becoming friends. It starts off them just meeting each other and yada yada yada. And it also goes to show another thing you can relate to, especially as guys. You can relate. Oh, it's one of the first girls you can talk to that you think is pretty cute and nice, and you just dig. And it's something any guy can relate to. And you'd have a hard time talking to them. But what is it? basically the test is they had to. It was basically a villain course test where they had to get where they would get in based on points, and if they get a good amount of points and high amount of points, they would be into the school. So basically, Deku with his full power, and it's before that, the reason why Deku trained is because All Might told him, like, listen, you can have inherit my power just because I said that. That's good and all, but my power is really reckless and it's dangerous. You could end up ripping your body in half if you're not trained properly. So it is later. So basically, Deku, he has the powers, but he's still acting like a normal kid until when he sees Ochako, which is basically in trouble and in need of assistance or help. It later looks like she's about to be crushed by a robot, which they had to destroy to get the point system. Deku basically uses his power and destroys and really shatters the robot and destroys it completely. And it cuts to the scenes of all the people evaluating them, and they're all shocked, like, whoa, this kid's got some crazy power. And he was only doing that so he could get points, in a way. And he had to destroy it completely to get points. And because at this point, he still didn't have one single point. He had 0. And the drawback of him using his powers, which is later explained, is, and you see it, he has broken bones every time he goes all out with his power. And what is it? So after the testing is done, he realizes, like, he's not going to get in because yada yada yada. He didn't have the amount of points and stuff like that. But he later gets, it was something in the letter, right?
Yeah.
In the mail.
Yeah.
So he gets something in the mail which pops up on a screen or from his laptop, and it's All Might, and he's basically telling him, like, hey, now I'm a teacher at UA, so this is the reason why I'm talking to you. And he's basically telling Izuku, like, you got into the school. And he shows something about basically Ochako trying to get him good reps, like, hey, this guy really tried to save me, and she was being generous. She's like, hey, and it was cool because you saw an unselfishness of somebody knowing that, like, they would sacrifice their own points to get into a school they were determined to get in for somebody else because they saw that somebody else tried to go save him. And they later said, we can't do that, but the reason why Izuku got in was because he showed depths of being a hero and by saving someone. And they had, like, some kind of different point system of, like, a hero point system or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember this all in memory and stuff like that. Because, honestly, it's pretty memorable things. You can remember moments in this anime, but yeah, it was really touching, and it was one of the other things where it's like, okay, Deku got into the school he always wanted to go to, where everyone in the past 2 episodes said, you ain't going to no UA, you don't even have a quirk, but at the same time, it's later revealed in the seasons that you really don't have to have a quirk to go to UA. I won't get too much into that because that's more season 2 stuff when it comes to that stuff. But yeah. So, anyways, Deku comes to school, and it's his first day, and the first person you run into is before he started the entry test, he tried to talk to Ochako earlier before the test, say hi or say, like, what do you feel about this test? So this one kid named Tenya Ida, who it looked like he might bully him at first, later recognized what he did. And he was like, I saw what you did at the test. He's like, you're actually not what I thought you were. You're actually a pretty good dude. and really, and then N'Chaka bumps into them again, and really, they're kind of like, in essence, the three friends in a way.
Yeah.
And
The Three Musketeers.
well, I wouldn't say from that aspect. I would say like three good friends that are used to each other, but they're like their own little collective group.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know, Deku has more of a. He always has pick and chooses with people he relates to.
Yeah.
I won't get into that now, but yeah. Who then they lead to meet their homeroom teacher, Mr. Aizawa, who is a pro hero, and he's basically the I don't care type of person, like the mellow attitude type of guy who's just get to the point and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love his character, and because it's really funny because he's really just a laid back guy.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of some of the tougher teachers who were like, they had a good attitude and they had good intentions. It's just on the outside they look like they're not as good of teachers. But really, when you get to know them better, you feel for them and you care about them because they taught you. Anything you want to say?
Yeah. One thing about Mr. Izawa is how like he reminds me of some of my teachers back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like all mellow and all gloomy and all that,
Uh-huh.
and how strict he can sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how that one time he told all the students if the last place gets expelled.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
would be the first like exercise hero challenge they would do, and he was basically like, "Listen, you're dead last. I'm gonna kick you out of here." And it's later explained that he's known for kicking people out of the course, and
yeah, that's the moment when you'll just think, oh snap,
yeah,
really?
yeah. So basically, everyone goes up. They do really well. Then who comes up? Basically, he's about to throw it, and he's going to give it all his power. But Mr. Aizawa stops him, and how he stops him is his quirk is where if he keeps his eyes open, he can take away your quirk at all costs. You lose your quirk automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, basically, try it again without using what I think you're going to do. So basically what he did is he focused all his power into his finger, and he threw it pretty far. And the entire class was stunned and stuff like that.
Including Bakugo.
And but the same thing like how with the test, this time he broke his finger. So he had to later go to the nurse, which through a kiss basically to your injured area, she heals your injuries and your recoveries faster from.
Time to eat.
Okay. Sorry guys, that was my sister. But basically, she recovers any injury sustained and recovers it to a faster part where, say, it would take you like probably months to reheal a broken finger. And her nickname's in the show Recovery Girl, basically. So, yada yada yada. If we skim past things, we later get into a tag team match later where All Might's the instructor of the class, and really it's the first time where we see Bakugo versus Deku. And really, it's the episodes 5 and 6 really explain like the reason why, in some cases, the reason why Bakugo does not like Deku, and the flashback scenes show that I don't like this kid because he's always standing up for things and other people and getting in my way, and it's really like, and in the episode, at the end of episode 5, he's like, you piss me off most of the time because you do this, and what is it? At the end of the episode, what is it? Well, really, basically, All Might's listen. One team will be a villain team. The other team will be a hero team. So the funny thing is, and this is before this. The funny thing is, so Deku comes out to his costume, which his mom made, but his costume looks basically almost as a ripped-off version of All Might, because he has the ears, and his mask looks like it's supposed to represent the teeth of All Might, and All Might's like, really, kid, you could have made something more obvious. And the reason why he's talking like that is because he doesn't want people to know about his power. And two, he doesn't want people to know that, oh, Deku is not only my successor, but I'm, in a way, kind of mentoring him along his way to make him a better hero. So he's trying to keep that from not only some of the people at the staff, and so he doesn't choose favorites. And earlier in the episode, I was always like, listen, I could have kicked him out because he's worthless, honestly. He's like, you need to stop playing favorites, All Might. And so basically, All Might's trying to prove to the staff and even the students that Deku is really not his favorite. He's not trying to play favorites. He's really trying to be biased or unbiased, but at the same time, he's being really biased. But he's later, but also going in the funny scene. He runs out and meets Ochako, and he starts like losing his crap because basically Ochako says like, "Oh, I'm in a skin tight suit," and he's like, "Oh," and then it cuts to the funniest guy in this anime, Mineta. He is your typical Master Roshi, typical anime perv who tries to get all the girls and try to see the goodies. And he only said one line. He's like, "I love this school," and I was like, "This kid is wild." You know, I'll just say, as the season progresses, he gets even more wilder, and I just love him for it. Next to Deku, he might be my second favorite character of the show, just because of it, and I like him more than the things Master Roshi does in Dragon Ball.
Which is kind of funny to hear someone say that Mineta is actually a favorite because of the way he is and how he gets around girls.
And when we get into really season 2, it's later explained why he does what he does. And really, I would say season 1 is an overview of Deku's story. Season 2, and we won't get into it now, we'll get into it in the next video about season 2. But really, season 2 is about it talks more about Deku in a way, to how he does better with his powers, but also it revolves around all the other characters. And I could say this, even starting off with season 1, the one thing I like, well really, the whole of My Hero Academia, the one thing I like of My Hero Academia as a whole is, they don't just talk about just the main character and make it like, oh, this is only Deku's show. This is only his show. They give good character development to all the other characters throughout these 3 seasons they're doing. And by the time season 3 is really done, almost all the characters, with a few exceptions, well, really all the main characters in the class have arcs that they go through where it completely shows what they were from the start of the show to where they are now and how it makes them a better hero. And I just like that as an overall, because in most animes, you don't get that character development with others. Goku and Vegeta. The only time, really, you got character development recently with Dragon Ball was the Tournament of Power arc, with all the other characters. Like, Tien got his character development, Master Roshi, Krillin.
Yeah, that's something that Dragon Ball has been really lacking. As much as I like it, it's been really lacking in character development. I mean, yeah, which kind of saddens me, because I've been like a really huge Dragon Ball fan, and I'm slightly starting to like My Hero Academia just a little more.
My Hero Academia is honestly my favorite anime.
Yeah,
I love Dragon Ball, because I did watch these reviewers. They said as much as I love Dragon Ball, I'm sorry, My Hero Academia tops Dragon Ball by a long shot.
Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that the Dragon Ball characters are
great.
Yeah.
I think I just like the fact that characters are more utilized, and they seem, and even though there are enemies that are really powerful,
Mm-hmm.
everyone gets a chance to shine.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a chance to shine. From the weakest classmate will shine and get their moment. And that's, like I said, the development, and we'll get more into the development of all the other characters later in other season reviews and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just makes their character development even better. And it's like, oh, okay. While really Deku, he gets the slow character progress development. Like, season 3, he's really season 2, he got a little bit of character development, and he's still getting more, probably, as the series continues.
Mm-hmm.
But, basically, going back to the whole battle, Ochako and Deku are basically paired with each other on the hero team, while Tenya Ida, or I'm just calling Ida for short, and Bakugo are teamed up together. And basically, Ida trying to make a plan with Bakugo, but Bakugo's like, no, I'm just trying to go find Deku, I'm going to go kick his butt. Trying to keep things PG here. But,
Yeah.
Basically, what's his face? While Ochako and Deku are trying to complete the objective, they run into Bakugo, and Bakugo literally almost takes Deku's heads off. He literally rips a half of his mask off. And the one thing that I do like about Deku is that he's really, really smart. Because when Bakugo charged him, he knew, like, I gotta give this man an arm throw. And he does that, and he counters Bakugo, and comes back to the classroom like, whoa, Midoriya really just did that to Bakugo right now? And he's like, maybe Midoriya is actually not as bad as we all thought he was. Because, and you can probably say this part,
Yeah, once he like arm throws Bakugo, that like you said, everybody was left speechless, and like, how did he do that, or was he that predictable? And yeah, that was Deku's shining moment. Like, he's finally standing up for himself against his, like, I don't know, bully / friend.
I would say at this point, bully / rival.
Yeah, and I really love this line when he said it. Like, Deku is not the name of a hero.
And the reason why he takes the name Deku, after their first class, when he's talking to Ida and Ochako, Ochako basically questions and asks him a question like, why does Bakugo call you Deku? And he basically explains like, oh, it's just my bully name that he gave me a long time ago. And basically Ochako was like, oh, I think Deku's a pretty cool name, and she thought it was a cute name as well. And he was like, oh, then Deku it is. And it cracked me up, because then Ida was like, wait, why are you taking your bully name then? And also really, Ochako is and this is why I love the relationship between Deku and Ochako, because in some cases, they push themselves. And in season 1, really, and especially that part, Ochako really pushes Deku to be great. And later in the show, Ochako later starts to get admired by the things Deku does, and it's the whole anime relationship shipping trope where, oh, the main lead girl gets inspired by the main protagonist guy, what he does, and what she sees is like, oh, I actually start feeling for this guy. But yeah, so she gave an inspiration because she also saw Deku as being the name of a hero as well. She really said Deku would be a great name for a hero, or a great hero name. And yeah, and he's like, yeah, he's like, now my name's Deku, really, and that's the name of a hero. And it even comes back to Ochako, like, realizing what he told her, or what she told him, and it comes back to Bakugo, is like, see, this is the reason why you piss me off all the damn time. And he's like, and at the end of the episode, he even screams out, like, this is why I hate you. And in episode 6, and the following episode, they go do flashbacks when they were younger, and reasons to why Bakugo hates Deku. And I didn't understand this at first, but when I rethought about it time and time again, once really Bakugo got his powers, he saw himself as like, I'm the greatest.
Yeah.
I'm all this and that. Nobody can touch me. No one can beat me. And I think that's when we got the Bakugo to where we are now, where he's all self-conceited in a way. In an aspect, he's like Vegeta, where all he cares about is himself, really, and he thinks he's just the greatest and no one can stop him.
Yeah, I think the only part that like makes him angry towards Deku is like every time like Deku tries to help him, it always makes him feel inferior to him.
Yeah, or he takes it as a stance of Deku treating him like he's weak.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much the main reason why he's always so pissed towards Deku.
Yeah, because what is it? In one of the flashback scenes, he accidentally falls into a lake, and Deku sees that and he tries to go into the lake and help him up and ask if he's okay. And that's when Bakugo, I guess at that point in time, he started hating him, and because he saw him like, why is this quirkless kid helping me? He sees me as weak. He thinks I'm him. And it goes to show, like, the passion of how much he hates the fact that he doesn't want to lose to him. And he wants to prove to him, like, I'm better than you. So, they do a little runaround. And I'm not really going to get to the Ochako Ida part of that, but it's because it's really more focused on Deku and Bakugo. Bakugo later finds Deku, and then Deku has nowhere to run, so he basically has to fight him. So while they're fighting, Deku's basically getting his butt handed to him, because Bakugo's more athletic than him, he has more control of his power, he's maneuvering better than him, and he's getting his butt kicked in. But Deku, all he knows is, there's only one shot I got to win, and he basically hits up Ochako, and he's like, listen, on my go, that's when we say go. So, what he does is, he uses his fist, he does a Detroit Snatch, which is All Might's move, but he takes it in his own. He punches up to the air, the ceiling, and basically Ochako's power is if she touches something, things float. And stuff like that. And what is it? And Bakugo's power is explosions based off the sweat he emits from his palms or his glands and stuff like that. And that's how he gets super explosions and stuff like that. And what's his face? So really, he does that as he takes a Bakugo explosion to his hand, to his forearm, really, and him and Ochako's team wins the battle. And after that, that stunned Bakugo because he's like, I lost to this guy who I hate with a passion, who I think is nothing to me, and he beat me. And at really the end of the following episode after the match, Deku basically is telling Bakugo, listen, he's like, you're right, I'm quirkless, but I was given these powers, which All Might told him he cannot tell anybody. Now, we'll get to the repercussions of him and Bakugo possibly maybe knowing about Deku's true potential later in the show. But, yeah. In a way, Bakugo really got his pride hurt in that battle. Like, I would say now I think this was also the moment where he starts to actually, start to take Deku a little bit more seriously. He doesn't seem like, okay, he one-upped me this time, but next time, things will be different. And it's the whole, and like I said, it's the whole Goku-Vegeta aspect. It's like, after the Saiyan Saga battle, Vegeta's like, you may have got me this time, but next time, you'll be dead for sure. Now, they really never got a really official second battle till later in the series, but yeah, but
don't you see that those kind of moments kind of reminds me of you and me back in the day when we were at Rolly. Like we were always like challenging each other and something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we later cut to a thing to basically the class taking a bus to go to the what's the place called? The USJ. The USJ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the full meaning of the term, but they call it USJ for short. So when they arrive to the USJ, they're basically going to the USJ for like really in the practice of helping people out in the field if there's dangers and stuff like that, and being a helpful hero. But at the end of that episode, there's this black hole that shows up.
Yeah.
And then all these villains just start showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So in the last couple of episodes of the series, basically the class has to fend off the villains, and this is when the show really picked up after a bit of the mellow of the Bakugo Deku fight.
Yeah.
And really most of the class who at the attack, they get, due to this guy's power, who I guess vortexes people to different people. I don't know his name, but he warps people to different areas. They warp some of the classmates to different areas at the USJ.
Mm-hmm.
So Deku is with Mineta, the guy who was the perv, and then a character named Sue. So he's warped with those two in the water area, and there's these water-based villains that almost attack Deku, but Sue saves him because her power is the power of having the abilities of basically anything.
Of a frog.
Yeah. A frog. And Mineta's abilities is his the things in his hair, is these little balls in his hair, make other things stick to things, except he doesn't stick to those things unless he decides to. But they can stick to any surface he wants for how long they can. And the one thing I do, and I would say the one thing I like about My Hero Academia is with the quirks is, the quirks have a general drawback to what they can do. Mm-hmm. Because when I'm talking about, like, with All Might, he can only stay in his muscle form for about 3 hours a day in this current point in time. Each quirk has a drawback. So in Deku's case, if he uses his full power, he could possibly result in him breaking his arm or legs or any part of his body and literally becoming immobile, or really putting himself in major danger if he's going up against a dangerous opponent, if he decides to pull that risk. So, for example, and another example, Mineta, his head will start to bleed like crazy if he throws too many balls and he's just exhausted purely. And I think the fact that, okay, they made it to where quirks have limits.
Yeah.
And really, I like the fact too that certain quirks are made for certain situations. Because in that one scene, they're thinking, and the one, like I said earlier, Deku's really smart, and he usually thinks before he makes his move. And what is it? Deku was thinking like, okay, the villain's attacked, but why would they send us to places that they wouldn't know where we be fitted best? And they're like, they don't know that because they don't know anything about us. They only wanted to come for All Might and the heroes. Really. And Sue was like, basically, you're right. Since Sue has the abilities of frogs, the one thing that would make her weak is basically if she was in a hot temperature, or say a fire environment where there's no water. And if there's no water, she really can't be much of assistance. And she realizes, like, you're right. What's his face? If that was the case, the villains want to send me to the fire area in the USJ and to send me here, the water area. So they come with a plan to get out of the situation. They get out of the situation and stuff like that. And because of a result, Deku had to use his power. He breaks one of his fingers. And they later get saved. And at the same time, Tenya Ida later escapes to get help from All Might.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we cut later into the episode, basically Aizawa was fighting off the main leader of the group, and he's like, "Okay, you did good. Now let's see how you deal with my friend here, Nomu." And when I first saw Nomu, oh my goodness, I was like, "What is this?" I don't know what your first impression of what Nomu looked like, but yeah.
So, yeah, your thoughts are as good as mine. The Nomu, what do I even say about him?
Well,
it's
later revealed to be Nomus are later revealed to be things. I won't say what they are now or what they're made of, but it's some pretty dark stuff when you find out what the heck Nomus really are.
Yeah, and apparently he claimed it to be able to defeat All Might.
Yeah, and this is one of the huge masterminds that will later be revealed that he made it purposely to beat All Might.
Mm-hmm.
And so the leader of the villains who led the attack, Tomura Shigaraki, basically tells Aizawa, like, you can't fight Nomu, and because Aizawa tries to use his powers, or use his quirk on him to shut down the Nomu's power, but it doesn't work because the Nomu has multiple quirks.
Yeah, that part right there when Miss Aizawa was like getting the stuffing beat out of him.
Yeah.
That part was really brutal. Like,
and albeit My Hero Academia, even though it's a pretty graphic anime.
Yeah.
There's some like there's blood in it, and there's some scenes which are really, really graphic, and it's like, oh, I'm actually gonna turn away from that.
Well, I wouldn't say it's
not too graphic, but it's graphic where you're like, okay, I think I might need to step back for a while.
Yeah, like that moment, I thought, oh my god, is one of the teachers gonna die? Oh my god!
When I first saw that, and the Nomu had his hand on Aizawa's head, and then you see the blood splatter. At first, I thought he smashed his head and crushed it. And I was like, oh! But they later showed he was alright and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I really thought he, like, smashed his, like, literally, like, crushed his head to where he's basically dead. I thought that. I was like, oh.
Oh my god.
But later, All Might shows up. He fights the Nomu. And the Nomu... And basically, what is it? Deku, in a sense, what is it? No, that was him buying time.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was at the end after they beat the Nomu. But basically, All Might knew his time was going on. His time was about to be up. And basically, All Might puts everything into one punch. Where he's like, which is a common thing when they say, go beyond plus ultra.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? And he's like, Detroit Smash, it was 1,000,000%, right?
1,000,000%?
Or 100%, right?
I believe it was 100.
Yeah. So, anyways, the Nomu just goes flying out of the dang USJ, and it's just like doing a Team Rocket, basically. So basically, All Might's at his limit. He looks like he's about to turn back to his normal self all over again. And he has to stage with because if the villains find out, oh, he's just a weak guy. We can kill him right then and there. So Deku really buys time for All Might, and he almost gets himself killed in the process. But later, Deku's saved because Tomura or Shigarachi's quirk is he basically deteriorates anything he touches of a body part.
Yeah.
Like he earlier deteriorates Aizawa's arms by just a touch, and he literally makes his arm immobile to use. And it's a very dangerous quirk because in the moment he was about to touch Deku's head, and if he touched Deku's head, Deku would have died.
Yeah.
And like I said, the heroes all showed up. They saved the day, and basically, it was the start to My Hero Academia because it was the whole aspect of the and it's the one aspect that will keep getting brought back in later seasons. Class 1A, Class 1A, and the one thing I do like about it is Class 1A. I want to say they don't really, and it's like I said with all the characters, they don't focus on just merely Deku in the class. They focus on all the other characters. And right now, I'm just going to my overview of season 1 now before we end this video because it's literally an hour long. But we go into the class, and they talk about everyone. And later in the series, they talk about, yeah, those kids are from Class 1A who get attacked at the USJ. And it's always going to keep getting brought back up. And that's the one thing I like. That the class, and it's later, as it goes later on, the class later will, in aspects, become, in a sense, a team. But more than that, I see it as the class, because this is only the start of their class where they started like acknowledging all the others of what they can do and stuff like that. Like after the Deku Bakugo fight, the day after that, Deku's classmates literally coming to him like, "Yo, what you did was really sweet, and that was cool, and that was awesome. You really stood up to Bakugo back there." And that's the one thing that's later in the show is, at first everyone doesn't respect each other, and they're like, these guys are just my classmates. But then they later become much more than that. They become much more than a team. I would say they become more like a family.
Yeah.
In an aspect. And it's later going to be explained, especially when they implement something new in season 3 at the school. They later realize, it goes for all the characters where they put away inside their selfish pride, well really except Bakugo, but all the characters put away their selfish pride because they're like, hey, we're just all trying to attain one goal. Yeah, it may be our own personal goal to be something, but really, we're all in this together. And the USJ attack demonstrates like, they had to put away their rivalries or how they felt about one another, and they actually had to work together because they're literally trying to, in a way, stay alive. And I can relate probably the USJ attack in a real world sense to say like an on-school shooter.
Yeah.
Really, because really in that case, yeah, you want to worry about yourself, but you have to worry about about other people around you. You just can't worry about yourself. Like, okay, yeah, they may tell you, listen, just run off alone and get some help. But you may want to stay around and maybe help people and then go get help. And stuff like that. And it's just, and this is my overview of My Hero Academia as a whole again. And season 1 really showed real world elements. And later on in the series, they'll show more real-world elements of, like, certain things that happen and stuff like that. But season 1 was really real-world element of really personal things, like being talked down, saying you're nothing, possibly being in a dangerous situation at somewhere where you feel comfortable being at, like a school, or face standing up to your bully in front of other people, even though you know you might get your butt kicked. But at the end of the day, if people still have respect for you for doing that, that's good. And it just relates to life in a whole. And that's what I really love My Hero Academia for. And that's why it's one of my favorite animes, because I can relate to these characters. And it doesn't, and we'll get into character developments later and stuff like that, because some character developments are really a lot more emotional as they get on. Like, say, for example, with Chaco's and Ida's, like, when they get their character development in Season 2, you feel for them because in those direct moments, they have emotional themes, what's going on right now. And I wish I could talk about them, but,
yeah, that will come in a later video, right?
Yeah, but, you feel for what these characters go through, and it goes throughout the entire series, whether you do hate somebody and that you used to be friends with, but you just like, I can't stand you anymore. You may feel something what's going on from Bakugo's perspective. Mm-hmm. Later in the show, which I personally call the wife of the series, Momo, you can understand where she comes from where when she gets her character development. And then, like I said, Ida gets his character development later in Season 2. Todoroki gets his character development in Season 2. Mm-hmm. Ochako gets their character development. And really, all the characters in Season 2, with the exception of, well, really, some of the main cast members, not really the back four members, really, they get their shining moments. And they get their character developments to, like, hey, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And like I said, Deku's main objective is not to only want to be the best, but he wants to be the best type of hero, mm-hmm. who wants to help people. And that's Deku's whole stash in the entire thing, because he wants to help everyone. He just doesn't want to help that one guy. He wants to help everyone. And that's what I inspired, because and it's later explained that and it's later told Deku, like, listen, you can't always help everyone. You can only help people at certain points in certain times of need. And it connects to the real world, because you will want to help everyone, but you can't help everyone, because there's people living in different states far away from you. There's people living in different countries. And the only thing you can really do is control what's around you and help the people around you. And it's just a really inspirational anime. If you haven't seen it, I'd really give it a watch.
Yeah.
It's honestly a top 10 anime. Mm-hmm. It's honestly a top 10 anime in my opinion. And it's only Season 3. There's only Season 3 seasons and a movie. And we already know there's going to be a future movie coming up soon. Mm-hmm. Season 4 is coming up later in October.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, the many character developments in this like anime it just makes this one show a masterpiece. Yeah, the like, I don't know, like not that relevant characters have like really big impacts to the story, and yeah, they sort of become like really likable later on.
Yeah. And as a whole of Season 1, when I thought about Season 1 I thought it was a good introduction to what I'm getting myself into later in the series. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this actually, when I first watched it, I was like, this isn't half bad. Mm-hmm. It's actually really good. There's a story that's being told that's really good. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Because at the end of season, Deku's like, yeah, we thought that's all that was said and done. But and he's talking about us, he's talking about the entire class. Him and his class later go through things that they thought the USJ was always meant to be. But no, they're only getting into more dangerous things. And yeah. Mm-hmm. And Season 1 as an overall, I like it. I really like it. Now, will I say it's a good season. I like it. I would probably put it as one of my least favorite seasons. Like in aspects of like it's not that I don't hate it. I just put it as like well, I don't mind watching it again. I'll go see it again because it's a story. It starts the whole thing off. It's just I prefer what goes on in the future more than the past. Maybe it's because when it comes to Deku first learning his powers, all he does is just break his arms at 1st, and until he masters it, which later in season 2 he does in a sense. That's when it and yeah, season 1 I love it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I love it. I think it's a great season. It's just if you ask me, be like, hey, what's your favorite? What's your favorite and least favorite? I'd be like, season 1's my least favorite. It's great. I'll watch it anytime I can. I don't have no problems with it whatsoever. It's just something, in a way, it's like, okay, we got the introduction out the way. Let's get on to the main stuff. Because, yeah. And
yeah, so
that's really it.
season 1 it's a really good way to like start off the series. Yeah, so yeah, like it's gonna be like my least favorite, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah,
good.
yeah, because it's really origin story stuff. But yeah, it's My Hero Academia. It's a wonderful show to watch.
Yeah.
It hits you in the feels, and I cannot wait. So next time we'll get on to My Hero Academia season 2,
and I'll try to talk a little more.
Oh yes,
I'll try.
You'll try, but My Hero Academia season 2, it was the start to great things, and boy, do I love My Hero Academia season 2. I don't think it's better and better and better.
Yes.
My goodness. So, anyways, guys, it's been a blast. It's been fun. Till then, see ya. It's Camfree15 signing out. You have your own YouTube channel, right?
Yes, I'm known as the Red Wolf, and yeah, I do like gameplays, and so far I've done a lot of gameplays actually. Some are not finished, but some I hope I will finish soon. So there's gonna be a link on the description. There's gonna be a link, right? Or
I'll see how to do that. I'll see how to do that. I'll see how to do that. Yeah, but yeah. If you have any comments you would like to put in, feel free to subscribe if you want to, because I do different types of reviews. Like I did an anime review today. Honestly, I really feel like doing just a run through of the entire series, but I'll probably upload them at different times in the week. But I do movie reviews from time to time of favorite movies that I did. You missed any? I did my first movie review of Avengers Endgame. So if you want to see what my thoughts of that movie were,
that was a good one.
Check the spoilers review. At first I give a non-spoiler, but what I'm talking about, it's spoilers review. You should have seen the movie by now. If you still haven't, I don't know how. So yeah. And when it comes to the MCU, I might give a Spider-Man Far From Home theory or possible predictions, because I'm really happy for Spider-Man Far From Home. I do movie reviews. I also do sports reviews as well. Like I said, I'll get to the Angels when I can get to them, because I got enough stuff in my life I've got to do. And then I also do Chicago Bears football reviews when the season will start back up again, and then Los Angeles Clippers stuff, because I'm a fan of the Clippers. So if you are into sports and you wanted to know more into my favorite teams and see how I get my personal opinions of my favorite teams, you're more than welcome to check them out and check out any movie reviews. I know I'm definitely certain the next movie review I'm doing is Detective Pikachu, and I'm probably going to go see that next week. I don't know if you'll be on the video, because I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but if you do see it with me, we'll do our review, we'll do our spoiler review, and yeah, but other than that, this will probably be posted probably sometime either tonight or tomorrow. Check out And the next My Hero Academia video will probably be My Hero Academia Season 2. So, yada yada yada. Reason why I'm doing My Hero Academia Season 2 is because it's the shortest anime, or really as a whole, while I'm reviewing it, to make this quick. It's the shortest of all the things of anime I'm watching, and Pokemon's definitely long, and you haven't seen mostly all the Pokemon episodes, so...
Yeah, true. I kind of stopped at, like, X, Y, Z.
Yeah, and then, Dragon Ball. We've seen Dragon Ball. Well, really, I'm rewatching Dragon Ball in order again so I can, I guess, refresh my memory in a way, and then we'll do Dragon Ball reviews and stuff like that. So, yeah. And also, we might have to do... I just forgot. Konosuba.
Oh, boy.
We will be doing Konosuba reviews.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Now those reviews will be episodes, episodic reviews.
For those who have not heard of that anime, if you're 18, if you're 15 or under, I wouldn't recommend watching it. Go watch it.
But yeah, I love Konosuba. Honestly, Konosuba might take second place in my favorite anime, but that's besides the point. We'll be doing Konosuba reviews as well. It's one of my favorite animes. I'm already on season 2 already, and yeah. Well, anyways, guys. Till then, it's Camfree15 signing out. This is my friend Denzel, his YouTube account,
aka the Red Wolf.
Yep. So till then, guys, and then till the next episode of TV show reviews. Till then, so see ya.